welcome to the stream. My name is Andrew said hi, and I hope you enjoy the stream. And right now I'm playing Palworld. I don't know how long it's been. Shit hard as fuck though. But anyways, hope you enjoy, and I'll see you in the next one. Fuck. I fucked myself. I fucking have it. Alright, give me a sec. There's one on the other side of this mountain. Oh my god, there's a lot of sulfur. This map is so fucking huge. Mount Obsidian. Where am I at? There should be an egg. Is that the egg? Is it more? There's somewhere in this area. I don't want to go all the way down. Oh no. More this way? Put an egg right here. Okay. There's so many of those fucking eggs. It's like at the bottom. fucking... Give me a fucking black egg. I'm tired of this fucking flame fucking bullshit. I mean, it is nice, but fuck. It's too much. Nope. When I seen that chest, I thought it was something else. I thought it was a cool egg. Other than fucking flame. Holy fuck. Infinite stamina. this open. Did I travel to the right one? Yeah, I think so. Alright, let me watch a video.
Loop right here. So I usually fast travel to the Eternal Pyre Tower entrance, and I fly around this loop of the volcano, and more often than not, within 10 to 15 minutes, I will be able to find a huge dragon egg. And you can literally do this the very second you get your first flyer and have one of the best pals in the game. Not only is the best for kindling, but is one of the most powerful pals in the game, hands down. Now, as I mentioned, they can spawn anywhere, but this is exactly what you're going to be looking for. These are the purple and black eggs. They spawn all over the volcano biome, and it is a huge dragon egg. Now, this one I found right here. It can spawn anywhere, but I have had the most luck around this kind of loop right here. So I usually fast travel to the Eternal Pyre Tower entrance, and I fly around this loop of the volcano, and more often than not, within 10 to 15 minutes, I will be able to find a huge dragon egg. And you can literally do this the very second you get your first flyer and have one of the best pals in the game. Not only is the best for kindling, but is one of the most powerful pals in the game, hands down. Now, most of you, I'm sure, already know how to get all of the ingredients for cake, but there's some information you might actually not know. For instance, how to get more cake resources from your ranch pals. I've done a lot of testing with this before everything was data mined. You're going to need Chickpea to be able to lay eggs. Now, your passive skills like Artisan, Serious, anything that increases work speed actually doesn't increase the amount of eggs a Chickpea will lay, or any other ranch pal for that matter. The only thing that helps improve how many items you can get from any of your ranch pals is going to be their partner skill, which means to be able to get egg layer level 5, I have captured 120-ish chickpeas and used the pal condenser to put them all into one. Now, this chickpea will lay about 3 to 5 eggs every minute, which means I only really need one of them to maintain the amount of cakes that I need for breeding. But you can also get a whole bunch of them and just smash them into your ranch to be able to get a ton of eggs incredibly quickly. Quite frankly, I feel like it's better to just slap 8 chickens into a ranch and get a ton of eggs in a few minutes, then spend a whole bunch of time catching a bunch of chickpeas for one godly one. Next, you're going to want to get a whole bunch of mousarinas to do exactly the same thing. Now, you can either breed for mousarinas or you can capture them on this area of the map. And then you'll also need to get your hand on some bee guards. These are going to drop all of the honey that you're going to need at your ranch. These can be quite a bit of a pain to be able to get because they do explode on your face before so you can catch them sometimes. So you can breed for them through crossbreeding as well. I'll leave a link in the description for the crossbreeding website to be able to make any pal your heart desires. One of the easiest and earliest ways you can get a bee guard through breeding is by taking a tombat and breeding it with a Hoocrates, which you can find at night throughout any of these early game zones. The same thing goes for the tombat spawns. It's probably going to be easier to breed a tombat and a Hoocrates together for a whole bunch of Begards than going out and getting your face exploded. Now, if you're rolling dirty in cash, maybe from watching one of my other videos on how to make all the money in Palworld, then you don't need to farm up these cake resources at all. You can head to any of the merchant locations. There is one right here at the beginning of the game, just east of the Marsh Islands Church ruins. There is a wandering merchant right here, which you can actually tame and keep at your base if you so desire. You don't have to come here all the time. You can buy eggs for 50 gold apiece. You can buy milk. You can even buy wheat, wool, and a bunch of other things as well. Aside from that, the only other thing you're going to need is wheat. I recommend having 2 of the wheat plantations and get yourself a Lylene. You can get these at the beginning of the game by breeding various pals. I would recommend checking out the crossbreeding website because there are a ton of different ways to be able to make it. This will handle all of your planting needs. A Yormantide would be great as well, or any water pal, and I also recommend having a Verdash as your harvester. But my perfect setup is 1 to 2 Lylines, 1 Verdash, and 1 Yormantide, and that takes care of business pretty good. If you want an even better harvester, Frostallion Noct is the best one in the game, but that is an endgame legendary pal. Now that we've got that out of the way, let's get into breeding the perfect Fanglope. The reason we're doing this is because they are incredibly fast, but they're also small enough to get through caves, so this is going to be the pal that we use for getting through caves extremely quickly, or really anywhere else in the Today we're going to be going over the best breeding base build setup that you can do to make your life incredibly easy in Palworld. There's a lot of problems with the AI pathfinding and pals getting stuck in the game, and with this video today, oh my god, I finally got my serious artisan chickpea. Oh ho 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 ho, it's on. Oh, I got 2 of them. Oh, sometimes recording brings all the luck, other times it brings all the bad luck. But today, ladies and gentlemen, we're going to be going over the perfect breeding base setup, and quite frankly, just the best base setup, in my opinion, to get everything that you need done in Palworld. Now, I know base building doesn't seem too insane, but there really is quite a few things you can do to improve the efficiency, make sure you get every single thing that you can possibly need, and fit it all in one base, without having it break entirely and have to deal with sanity problems, depressions, fractures, and make sure that all the pathing works perfect. Now, since this is a breeding focused base, we are going to be using 3 breeding pens, and we will be able to keep all of them full at all times, while still being able to get everything else we need at the same time. Now, if you want to build at the exact location that I am, if you start in the Plateau of Beginnings, you're going to need to go all the way to the southwest corner of the map here. There is a starting zone up in this part if that is available for your particular server. We are building on this flat location right here.
Holy shit, I can't believe I found it. No fucking tell me I don't have fucking... Oh.
this part if that is available for your particular server. We are building on this flat location.
Alright.
Right here. Now, any flat location will do. There are tons of them throughout Palworld. You can see many of these base locations as these kind of big brown spots available around the map. So the developers definitely kept in mind these flat locations for you to be able to build in, and you can pick any single one of them to do something very similar. A lot of people have mentioned many issues with the breeding pens and pals that will stop breeding or not even registered as a place to work, and this is a pretty big problem in Palworld, but there's a few ways to be able to resolve this. First, you're going to want to make sure that there are no other work locations very close to this. You're going to want to make sure that resting spots are a bit away from it as well. Like we have our hot spring right here. You've got another one on the other side, but it hasn't caused any problems. But the main thing to look out for is how close your breeding pen is to the edge of your base. If it's even touching this or even a tiny bit over it, it's going to break the breeding pen more often than not. And quite frankly, you really should probably have it a little bit farther away from the edge of the base than I do have this one here, if you plan on breeding large pals in it. Like if you
I could just repair it at my house. Oh, fucking frames. He is fucking going ham. Look at him go. That shit go fucking fast.
you are going to take a Jormuntide, anytime that its little tail or part of its body goes outside of the base, it tends to glitch and leave the breeding pen or not even count it as a potential place to work. Another thing that I highly recommend with any kind of working location is make sure to put beds and things that they need close to them so they don't have to move very far to get to them. We have 2 beds outside of each of our breeding pens. We also have places for them to rest in the hot spring if they need to. You'll notice that I have beds close to the ranches as well, so none of our pals have to move very far to get any of their specific jobs done. And I also like to make sure I have the feeding bin pretty much at the center of my base without anything around it that they're going to get stuck on. I do have the monitoring stand right here, but I tend to build these and destroy them as I need them. And there is a very important tip about this feed bin. The most basic food source you should be using for your base is going to be baked berries. And the reason for this is they give slightly more nutrition, but they also recover 1 sanity every time something eats it. So you're definitely going to make sure to want to cook your berries and then fill up every other slot in your feed bin with something that is non-expirable. You can use cotton candy for this. You can get these from Woolly Pops. The Woolly Pops will actually farm them up in your ranch and you can just leave them there. They won't eat them. Your pals will always prioritize whatever food you put in the leftmost slot. So we have baked berries there, which means they will always eat baked berries. Now the next best food you're going to want to keep in your food bin is going to be salad. This will slightly improve your work speed for a period of time. You can see if we use it on our lift monk, the base work speed is 70. If we feed this to it, it's going to increase the work speed by 30%. After that is going to be a grilled lamb ball. This is going to slightly increase work speed, but it's also going to make sanity decrease slightly slower for a period of time. If we feed this to lift monk, it is still a 30% increase to the work speed. After that is going to be the Mozzarella hamburger, which you won't be able to cook until you make the electric kitchen, which is unlocked at level 41. If we feed this to our lift monk, this is going to give us a 50% work speed increase. And then the final one that you're going to, and then the final tier of food to be able to put into your feed bin is going to be the fried chickpea. This is going to increase your work speed and it's going to give you the best sanity decrease that you can get. The downside of this is it's a 30% work speed. The downside of this is it's only a 30% work speed increase, but if you're worried about their mental stability, this is going to be the best food for that. And if you are using this as your feed, you'll be able to use the monitoring stand and put them to super hard working, which will give them an extra boost to their work speed, although it might not really be worth it, but that's completely up to you. Personally, I think the most sustainable upgrade that you can actually get is the salad. This gives you a decent sanity recovery and a 30% work speed increase, and it's super easy to make, only needing lettuce and tomato. Now let's go over the base setup and placement and how to improve efficiency as a whole. Now I have mentioned already how I like to keep things as close as possible, and that involves around the placement of certain types of jobs. You definitely want gaps in between things so your pals can move around freely. You'll notice that this Anubis just ran through here to be able to get to this rock. The Jormuntide is kind of hanging around the breeding pen. I think it just likes to hang out there because it knows it's going to need to water all this stuff pretty soon. But let's start off here with the farm. You'll notice that everything that requires watering or planting is really close by. So we do have a tomato plant, we have 2 lettuce plantations, we have 2 wheat plantations because I want all that wheat for food and for cakes. And we also have a bunch of red berry plantations. We have 3 of those total. Although now that I've transitioned to using salad as our food, we could probably cut down on the red berries. And then I also have our crusher as well as our mill behind this location. That means our Jormuntides are going to be hanging out in this area all the time. They don't need to move far to be able to water everything. Anytime I want to get anything done here, they're going to be able to instantly do it. And there's also beds here for all of the things that are working in this area. You'll notice what I have is a Lylene, I have a Verdash, and I have 2 Jormuntides taking care of all the watering. Because late game, you're going to end up using this crusher a lot. Because to be able to make the end game pal ingots, you need to be able to crush down stone into palladium fragments unless you want to farm it up and lose your mind. So I have 2 Jormuntides. I could probably get away with 1, but I do like making sure all of my crops are watered and everything is working as efficiently as possible. Basically, my pals are working 24/7 if they're not sleeping. Sometimes they need to take a bath, but with proper food, they can work all the time and never get upset. And since they don't have to move really out of this area, they're never getting stuck and everything runs unbelievably well. Now, as far as the breeding pens go, you do want to make sure that you don't put them too close to the edge of the blue circle here. You'll notice that mine is pretty close, but you want to make sure it's not touching. If it's touching or over the edge, your pals are probably going to break. While there was just a patch today that might actually allow you to push that over the edge a little bit. We'll probably test that in this video to see if it's going to work or not. Let's grab our eggs here. But if you do encounter any type of issues with your breeding pen, make sure that you just kind of move it a little bit farther back from the edge of your base limitation, and it should help quite a bit. Now, the best thing about this setup is you have everything perfectly set up to be able to cool your fridge, get your electricity if you need, 2 Yormantides if you need them. Lylene and Verdash will take care of all of your planting. Then we have 6 more slots for everything that we want to breed, and we can do this all at one time. And then we have 3 more slots for something else. Obviously, if you're doing a lot of crafting, you'll probably want to fill those up with Anubis. Or like what I'm about to do is drop a Yormantide in there so I can make 73 cakes. Now, cakes for a breeding base are extremely important, and that's why I actually have 2 ranches available to me. So I have 1 ranch over here, and then I have another ranch just next to this other breeding pen over there. Now, for making your cakes, you're definitely going to want to get some chickpeas. I have a level 4 chickpea that actually hatches 3 to 4 eggs every minute, which is pretty great. You're going to want some moose arenas, which obviously if you level up their star rating in the PAL condenser, they're going to drop more milk for you in the ranch as well. And then you'll want some bagards as well. Now, the big tip about bagards is if you go into their active skills, you're going to want to make sure that they do not have Be Quiet on. This is the one that explodes itself, and you can actually unequip it. You can unequip all of their skills too if you really want to be safe, but you just want to make sure they do not have the self-destruct skill equipped. That way they don't accidentally blow up your base. Now, if you are fully good on food and you don't need any more, you can unequip Lylene and Verdash, as well as your 2 Yormantides, and you can stock up on bees or whatever ingredient you're missing for your cakes. So the perfect setup would be a 4-star chickpea, a 4-star moose arena. Upgrade that you can actually get is the salad. To make sanity decrease slightly slower for a period of time. If we feed this to Lift Monk, issues with the breeding pens and pals that will stop breeding or not even register it as a place to work. And this is a pretty big problem in Palworld, but there's a few ways to be able to resolve this. First, you're going to want to make sure that there are no other work locations very
fiber, wood, and stone. gonna be the night. I hope you enjoy the stream. Give me a follow. Anyways, my name is Andrew said hi, and I hope you enjoy the stream, and I'll see you in the next one.